On my travels around the country on these whimsical little Floyd programs where we're sort of looking for food and trying to teach you to enjoy yourself and trying to get you to cook good things and stuff like that, I sometimes, quite frankly, get a bit bored with fish, with bouillabaisse, with lobsters, with pigeon in red wine and boeuf bourguignon and stuff like that. And sometimes I really crave for something quite simple, like my grandfather used to have on Saturday nights, you know, a plate of boiled pig's trotters or something, or a plate of tripe and onions, or maybe cabbage boiled with bacon. Anyway, I wanted to go somewhere where they're not proud, where they care about their cultural and gastronomic heritage. It's not France, it's Ireland we've come to. This is all very well, isn't it? A brilliant track from dire straits, lovely views, typical BBC fine camera work. Well done, Richard. You'd hardly think this was a food programme. So, we'll knock the travelogue on the head and get down to business in the market. And the marketplace, my dear gastronauts, is where it's at.
And we're going out this way now.
This spiced beef, a Cork speciality, looks as though it's been hewn from the ground and rolled in gunpowder. But believe me, after a few hours simmering, it makes the most superb beef sandwiches. And look at these inexpensive delicacies, pig's trotters, or crew beans as they're known here. And treat of treats, pig's tails. Yummy, yummy, yummy. And here's one of me now, just coming up in my brilliant green hat, posing to perfection as a leprechaun. But that's got nothing to do with the price of fish. Well, what I'd like is some of these fantastic prawns. Are these Dublin Bay prawns?
No, they're not. They're Castletown Bear prawns.
How far away is that?
It's 100 miles down and 100 miles back.
Oh my God, did you go to get those?
And we travel every 2 or 3 nights a week.
Good God. Tell me, what's the best way
We
to...
arrived last night home last night now after buying at 12 o'clock in the night.
And they're live
And they are, yes.
There's a live one, isn't it? There's a live-o, as we say in Cork. Listen, can I have about five pounds worth?
No problem.
Lovely. Thank you very much indeed. What's the best way to cook them?
Well, what we do, we tail them, just like this. You get this portion. You put them into a little saucepan, lukewarm water, little bit of salt. You bring them up to the boil and you boil them for 3 minutes. Shell them off.
Lovely. What have we got over
We have
here?
a lovely herring.
Can I have a look at the herrings?
Yes, you can, madam.
That's nice, isn't it? Hey,
Very
Richard,
nice.
where you gone? One of those for breakfast. Put us up all right. And a pint of stout. I couldn't think of anything
You
better.
could have them grilled, which is beautiful. We take the head off and we gut them, and we do just 3 little cuts in the back on both sides.
Yeah.
Little bit of butter in, and you grill them, and you have an excellent dish for 15 pence each.
Beautiful.
It's the most beautiful thing in the world, our own Irish smoked salmon.
Is it better than Scots smoked salmon?
I would think so. I wouldn't dream of running down the Irish.
Dear me, I really must have a word with Declan about his choice of hats. He looks more like a short-order cook than one of Ireland's leading restaurateurs and jolly gastronauts. Seen here, by the way, preparing crew beans, or pig's trotters as we call them. Watch carefully, and you can do this simple dish at home. You simply poach the feet until they're tender, allow to cool, split in half, and roll in melted butter and breadcrumbs, and slip under the grill. And there it is. This really is, isn't it? Making a silk purse from a pig's foot. Declan, I've been charging around the West Country of Great Britain looking for simple foods. All I seem to find are pasties and beef stroganoff. If I ask them for a regional speciality, it doesn't seem to exist. And against my will, I've been forced over to Ireland. And where I find things like pig's trotters and tripe easily available. But why do you, who fly the gastronomic flag virtually for the whole of Ireland with your splendid establishment here, why do you put on pig's trotters and tripe and stuff?
Well, we're not just a restaurant, we're a hotel. So a lot of our guests are from abroad, and the last thing they want to see is international food. So we give them traditional Irish dishes. On top of that, a lot of my local customers can now come back to the food of their childhood or of their student days when they went out on the town drinking large numbers of pints and using crew beans as a liner.
To get back to the tripe and stuff, then, I mean, why? You know, I have to beg for tripe from my butcher in Bristol. And he says, no, can't get it anymore. You know, where does it go? It's like asking for a veal knuckle to enrich a stew with, or a calf's foot or something. You know,
yes.
It doesn't exist anymore. But why is there so much tripe around here? Everywhere you go, there's tripe.
Well, that goes back to the economic history of the city of Cork. Cork was, first of all, the largest butter market in the world, and secondly, one of the major provision centres for Britain and Ireland. And in those days, a man's wages were a shilling and a penny a day, as much bread and beer as he could eat.
It's not a bad life.
And £7 of offal for his family.
Gracious me.
So there was a tradition of eating offal. Partly it's because the rest of the animals were packed in salt in barrels for export. And the offal they couldn't do anything with, so they had to eat it themselves.
I mean, where did you learn all of this, Declan? I mean, where did you get your enthusiasm for food and hospitality and cooking from?
Well, my mother was a marvellous cook, so I grew up with good food. After that, I trained, first of all, in London, under some of the old boys who had done their apprenticeships in Escoffier's kitchens. But that gave me hang-ups that it took a long time to break afterwards.
What kind of a hang-up, might I ask?
I felt I was cheating people if I didn't do things as Escoffier had done it. I was shackled.
He was such a great man, you lived under the shadow still.
We were trained under the shadow, yes.
What is really strange is that now we've gone so far away, the pendulum has swung right to the other direction, and you don't get those rich, slowly cooked stews and things. You get thin slices of duck breast, fanned onto a white plate or a black plate even, which to my mind is the extreme opposite of Escoffier and not necessarily quite where it should be.
Yeah. Well, I had begun to evolve away from this, but I felt a little bit guilty about doing so. And then I went to work for Les Frères Trois Gros, or one of the best of the 3-star Michelin restaurants in the centre of France, away from the big cities. And they were doing what I was almost afraid to do. So they gave me the self-confidence to follow my own ideas after that. So when I came back, wham! Everything I wanted to do, I just did it.
And to hell with everybody.
To hell with everyone.
I'd rather have more of the street musician, frankly, but my director is never happy without some passing reference to architecture, the bridge in this instance. OK, this is a really very nice bridge. That do you? Lovely. Oh, and of course I forgot to mention it's full of great second-hand shops as well. You realise that he does this to give you a sense of place, when in fact I'd much rather be in the pub, and if he cues it right, we should find one any minute now. What a good director, right on cue, into the pub we go. But you know, it's for your benefit, so that you can observe the dying art of preparing a pint of stout, which here is enacted as a divine ceremony, not a quick slap on the counter and say, all right, John. Long live Mr. Murphy, that's what I say. That's just what I needed. Do you know, after all that information, interesting though it was, I'm absolutely exhausted. But the trouble is, you know, one of my old mates, I never met him, he came back to haunt us. He used to drink so much of this stuff, he got heaved out of the pub. But in the Irish way they do things, he's come back to haunt them forever. And there he is, grinning at us, Freddie May. Do you know, around the country I go eating all these delicious things, and they always make me eat oysters. I used to love them. I've had so many, I got quite bored with them. And yet here I am, in Cork. And as Disraeli said, what could be better than a BBC mini break in Cork with a pint of your old stout here, a load of oysters, to really cheer you up, and the chef here has made me some brilliant red spicy sauce to go on them. And you know, it is true, they do put lead in your pencil. My God, they do.
It's the finest of foods, there can't be any doubt of it. Tickle your taste buds and knock 'em about a bit. Ladies will love it and sailors will shout for it. Give 'em a treat with the oysters and stout.
Enjoying yourselves? Good. But I bet some of you are beginning to mutter, when is he going to stop chattering and get on with some work? Well, as I speak, I'm on my way to Kinsale to do it right away. Now, my little gastronauts, if you spent a little more time with the simple things of life and less showing off with expensive fillet steak, not only would you be a healthier person, but you'd be a better person. And that's why we're here, because once again the BBC Mini Break has conned its way into Kinsale and borrowed a restaurant from a friend of mine who later on you'll meet. But in the meantime, back to the real business. Richard, show the customers the ingredients. The tripe you've seen, very simple. Over to here, some sliced onions, some sliced leeks, some parsley, breadcrumbs, milk just to the side of it there, and salt and pepper. That's all we need, except for a mystery ingredient which is coming later on to make this superb tripe dish. Now, it's simplicity itself. You, Richard, following me carefully as you always do, you put the pieces of chopped up tripe into there like that, and then you put in some leeks very easily. This dish isn't expensive. This is the very good thing about it. While that's just there, I cut up these last little pieces of tripe, pop those in like that, a little bit of pepper to go over it, to flavour it, a little bit of salt, which you can see going in. Very boring, isn't it? Who needs to know about salt going in? You can always add a bit more later. Handful of parsley, then in with something which I never drink myself, but in fact I might. I think I might. Director, pass me a glass, please. I want to lay a myth here. I want to lay a myth. Thank you. Quick, for God's sake. You cannot get the staff. Thank you very much. A glass. You ask him for a glass, he gives you a jug. That is the assistant director, the ex-assistant director. Anyway, I want to welcome you all to Ireland in a major way. This is Floyd on milk. Get it? Right, and the rest of it back here to the pot goes in like that. And now, very simply, get a good look at that. Isn't that beautiful? It's going to be unctuous, delicious, good if you're feeling ill, if you've had too many stouts, like I might have done last night, or really a fine dish. In France, by the way, they make it with tomato sauces and garlic and stuff like that. I don't think it's a patch on this dish. Anyway, it goes in the oven. While it's cooking for about an hour, we shall entertain you in all sorts of magical ways. The committee is a group who individually can do nothing and collectively decide that nothing can be done. This steamroller was unloaded by a committee. Michael, that looks fantastic. Thank you very much indeed. I'm sorry we've interfered with your day. I know you're a busy chap and all the rest of it, but we'll do the washing up, I promise you. Have a drink anyway, because it's delicious wine. Cheers.
Cheers.
Thanks for having me in the place. What is this superb dish you cooked me?
That's Dublin coddle.
Dublin coddle?
Coddle, yes. It's made from boiled bacon, some homemade pork sausages, sliced potatoes and sliced onions and parsley.
And cooked in the oven for?
Cooked in the oven for about 1 hour.
It looks absolutely fantastic, doesn't it? It really is. Anyway, a very vexed problem in English restaurants is the price of wine. And you can go to one restaurant and it's X pounds per litre, another one it's X plus pounds per litre. Here in Kinsale, the restaurateurs cooperate and they buy their own wine, they fix the price for it in the same 10 restaurants throughout the whole place. Cooperation, happiness between the restaurateurs, delight and pleasure for the customers. It's a thing you restaurateurs could take a note of. And on the back of the bottle here is all the members of the circle, you see. There they all are. So quite simply, I'm going to pour myself a glass of this splendid wine, drink to the cooperation, the successful cooperation of the restaurateurs of Kinsale, drink to my friend Michael here, and drink to Ireland, and we're having a ball here. This is the best place I've ever been in my life. The reason I didn't involve you with this before, because you're such a lily-livered bunch of people who said, yuck, he's going to put that nasty-looking sausage in. So that then is trotters. It's a beautiful, delicate sausage made of sheep's blood, and for those of you who are a little squeamish, and I didn't want to distress you, but I popped it in when you weren't looking, and I covered the dish with wonderful fresh breadcrumbs, and slipped it under the grill, and let it go golden brown like that. Tripe, trotters, breadcrumbs, leeks, onions, milk, the very goodness of everything there is about food. And look at that. That is a delight. A little gastronomic treat to warm the cockles of your hearts, my darling. And there is the gently poached dressine in the middle. I'm rather proud of that dish.
It's a bit of luck if you roast a duck and cook it up with Floyd. It's a bit of luck if you roast a duck and cook it up with Floyd.
I could really enjoy a duck right now, but don't worry, these little creatures are quite safe. The budget won't run to it. Instead, I'm going back to school to make a pudding from seaweed. Sounds Irish to me, but I'm sure that Doreen or Alan will reveal all. And with any luck, make the pudding.
Get it back again. And we've got our little shrimps in it there. Do you all know how to do that? Great. Floyd, what are you doing? You're reading the paper. You haven't been paying any attention.
I'm terribly sorry. I was just selecting a little winner for the Cheltenham Gold Cup.
Well, in that case, you can come back later and we'll go over the whole thing again. And then you'll know how to do it tomorrow.
It's a rotten life, isn't it? Here I am, in Ireland, remote, deep, darkest Ireland, taking all the trouble to come to the world's finest cookery school, certainly the best cookery school in Ireland. And what do I get? A mouthful of abuse from the old trout who runs the place. Absolutely appalling. What I was going to say was, look at all these wonderful people who've come from 4 corners of the earth to learn her wonderful skills, from soda bread, not Skoda bread, which as the director pointed out is a motor car, we all know that, to the highest flights of gastronomic excellence. And in fact, when I stay behind afterwards, Doreen is going to help me to learn to cook something really super. OK, I'm at this wonderful school. You're going to make me make a pudding out of seaweed, and I don't believe it. I mean, what am I going to do? How am I going to make a pudding from seaweed?
Well, this isn't any seaweed. This is carrageen. This is a special Irish seaweed. It's called carrageen because it's picked off the little rocks. Carrageen means little rock. And the ebb tide, and then it's bleached on the hills and on the cliffs in the summer. And the great thing about this seaweed is you've got to use very little of it because it's actually a natural gelatine. And the main thing is just a very little, just what would fit in your closed fist like that. Not my fist, not your fist. Just this fist, okay? If you put more than that, you're actually going to set your milk so that it's like cement, and that puts so many people off the carrageen.
Right.
So just that much.
So just that much. And can I use it exactly like that? What do I have to do with it?
No, we've got to soak it in a little cold water first for about 10 minutes, and that reconstitutes it. And as well as that, it gives you a chance to see whether there's any grass or anything else in it.
Once it's reconstituted, what do I do with it?
Then you put it into a pint and a half of milk and bring it to the boil and simmer it for about 20 minutes.
And guess what we've done? And guess what we've done? I had a little lesson before we started this programme, and we've soaked it for 10 minutes to get it gelatinous. We've put it into milk, a pint and a half of milk. We've brought it to the boil. We've allowed it to simmer. You see it's gone. I'm going to stick my fingers in. You see it's gone all gooey and ooey. We put a real stick of cinnamon in to give it some beautiful vanilla. You should have told me off for that.
Yes,
vanilla. Vanilla, I mean vanilla into there. And we've got that ready so that you can tell me what I do next.
Now,
because you're the professor.
We've got an egg yolk in here and some caster sugar. So give that a little whisk.
Here I go,
Fine.
whisking the egg. That all right like that?
That's perfect. And then you strain the carrageen through the sieve in there.
Right. Eek, it's funny looking stuff. It looks like
Is it
tripe.
tripe?
It looks like tripe and onions.
I'll take the vanilla part of this
Okay.
stage.
Am I doing all right?
You're doing beautifully.
Scrape that in there. What
Scrape
next?
that in there. Now you've got to push that milk and some of the carrageen through the sieve because it'll be mucousy underneath now, quite thick. And that's what's going to set the pudding for us.
Right.
This might sound very dull, but it's actually going to be delicious.
Oh, can you make savoury things from carrageen as well? I mean, could you have a sort of a prawn carrageen flavoured?
Well, you could,
Mousse
I
or
mean,
something.
obviously, it's because it's like agar, you could set a fish mousse or something with it if you want to. Also, they use it to thicken strawberry jam, or you can put a little into an Irish stew or something to thicken that a bit. And it's tremendously nutritious.
Is that good enough like that?
No, you must put a little bit more through. That's fine, I think. Lovely.
Would that be okay?
Yep.
Scrape that off the
Yes. And
off the bottom.
that's
Sorry.
lovely. You can see how thick it is there.
Right.
You're
Can you see that?
You're mucky.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Now you see how thick. So we whisk that round like that with my
There.
egg yolk, sugar, and carrageen.
Lovely. Get it all mixed up nicely.
Right.
And meanwhile, you get an egg, the white of the egg, nicely whipped up until it's lovely and stiff.
Yep.
And then you fold that in nice and lightly. If you didn't have a vanilla pod, then you could use a little vanilla essence. Preferably a natural vanilla essence rather than a synthetic
Right.
one.
Now, do I fold that into this or this into that?
Well, perhaps we'll put that in there because
Right.
then we can do it more lightly.
And this is a thing that really matters, doesn't it?
Yes, but pour all that in
Pour
there
all
first.
that in.
And then I'll show you how to fold it in
How
because
to
you're
do it
going about
properly.
it the wrong way.
Right, sorry about that. Oh my God, she's a terrible woman.
And you mustn't leave it behind in the bowl. That's all the goodness. Look what you're leaving behind. Okay. Now, you cut into the centre and fold it up and over, turning the bowl anti-clockwise at the same time so that you do it nice and lightly. Now, On you go. And you see you've got little blobs of egg yolk in there, so you didn't whisk your egg yolk properly in the beginning.
Oh.
Telling you off all the way.
That's all right, but I can't make one hand go one way and one the other way.
No coordination.
No coordination. I can't chew gum and walk at the same time. That's the real trouble. Now, is that all right?
Yes, it's lovely and fluffy. That's super.
That's lovely and fluffy. So next phase...
It's just about 4 out of 10, but anyway, there we are.
Right, into there.
In we go.
And what do I do with it now?
We just, all we've got
So
to
I've
do
got to scrape it all out,
yes,
haven't I?
every single bit.
You see, good cooks are also thrifty. I mean, they're generous in nature. You are generous in nature, aren't you? I know, yes, of course you are. But they're thrifty because worthwhile ingredients shouldn't be squandered.
Yes, and it only mucks up the washing up water anyway. So now pop that into the fridge, and when it sets, then you can serve it with lovely soft brown sugar and cream, or you can serve it with an Irish whiskey sauce or whatever you like.
Will do.
Okay?
I thought it'd be a good idea, because, you know, here's an apple for you, teacher.
Brat.
Brat! Anyway, what are we doing in this next sequence,
Well, we're going
please?
to do oysters and champagne sauce. We're going to be very grand now. And we've got the champagne here for the sauce.
Brilliant. Now, this is more like it, Richard. This is much more like it. I've been bossed around, pilloried to post by this dreadful old dragon, and last, we're back on the Floyd programme, so we'll have a little glass of this, which is very enjoyable indeed. Ah, that's much better. What I'm going to be doing now is a dish on oysters, champagne and oysters and stuff like this. So if Richard, come down to the thing. There are a few oysters, which we've opened. Move over to your left, Richard, please, and you'll see the opened ones. And then we've got some over here, some beaten egg yolk. Over here, can you see this all right? We've got the butter, we've got shallots, finely chopped, we've got champagne, we've got everything we want. What actually do we do with them now?
Aha. You put the half bottle of champagne in here.
I like that.
And with it you put the finely chopped shallots. And we reduce that champagne down to 1 tablespoon.
As you know, we usually cook right from start to finish, but drinking the champagne and reducing it seems such a terrible waste of time that we've got one here already. Now, I don't know what to do now. What do I do next? Butter into there?
Next, no, we've got to be very careful. This is butter sauce. It's almost like making a hollandaise. So what we've got to do is put our egg yolks into the saucepan.
Right, in there you go.
And we've got a heavy bottom saucepan on a low heat. That's most important. Here we go again.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so extravagant. Now stir that in.
You whisk very carefully. Just a second, I'll let it heat up a little.
Oh dear.
Yes, it's on a low heat. Whisk all the time.
Whisk all the time.
Lovely. Lovely.
She smiled at me! She smiled at me! I've
Come
done
on,
something.
watch what you're doing. You're careful.
Right.
And then you whisk in the butter, bit by bit.
Butter.
Lovely.
I'm a bit bored with all that. Can you finish it? I'm going to have a glass of champagne. I mean, this is quite ridiculous. I've never had such a rotten time in all my life. Limey
You're
O'Reilly.
learning how to make a delicious champagne sauce with Irish oysters.
Well, you carry on with that and I'll stuff them in a minute.
Fine.
Slap, 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 slap.
Was the sauce all right, though?
Well, you forgot about the cream. No cream in it. So we've just folded in a little bit of cream there. And we're also going to put a little salt and pepper into it. With unsalted butter, you quite often need just a little bit of salt.
Seems I can get mine
we'll
right
taste.
today. Will you please accept a glass of champagne with my apologies?
Oh, trying to butter me up. Right.
I've got to do something to win back your favour.
Now, let's get on with saucing these chaps.
Right. Now, I've learned a little tip here today, because if you set these oysters into some salt, they're not going to wobble over, and you're able to pour this sauce delicately over them.
Not too much.
Not too much, like that. A little bit in each one.
It's very extravagant sort of sauce, so just the right amount on each one.
Now, you wouldn't use flat oysters for this, would you?
No, these Japanese oysters are better because they're deeper shell and meatier. The native oyster, the Rossmore oyster, is delicious just with a little, with a little lemon and perhaps a little Tabasco or something on it.
Great. I'm going to put those into the grill now for them to brown in a super golden way for a couple of minutes.
Just golden. Keep your eye on them. Okay.
Delicious glass of champagne. I know you didn't want to see the business of the oysters coming out of the oven again. It's only the people like the director who cares about such things. Anyway, there they are. All my own work, beautifully decorated with individual shamrocks, as you can see.
Chervil, come on.
Oh, I beg your pardon, chervil. I'm so sorry. And here, this is the carrageen pudding which I made, which is absolutely beautiful. I'm going to put some, it looks very strange, but this, they assure me, is how it should look, on top of the Irish whiskey sauce that I made a little bit earlier while you weren't watching. And my goodness me, it's delicious. It's absolutely fabulous. And the thing I'm really proud about is my whiskey sauce. In fact, I'm going to have another spoonful of that because that is really... Have a look at this. All my own work, and it's absolutely delicious.
Uh-oh. All my own work.
Oh, sorry, yes. Well, nearly all my own work. Anyway...
Good carrageen, isn't it?
Absolutely
brilliant.
brilliant.
Are you converted?
I'm converted. But how many points out of 10 do I get for my efforts?
I think 5 out of 10. Not bad at all.
Very
Not
good
bad.
indeed.
Yes.
Thank you so much for that.
Good.
5 out of 10, very chuffed.
5 out of 10. But this is it's a super recipe for carrageen. Sometimes it can be very heavy and stodgy. But this is my mother-in-law's recipe. You know me mother-in-law?
Myrtle Allen?
Myrtle Allen,
I've
yes.
lived under her shadow for the 3 days I've been in Ireland.
So
Everywhere
I.
I've been, they say, Myrtle Allen, Myrtle Allen. Is she a goddess or what?
No, but it's a very good recipe because she uses so little carrageen, and then it means it's light and fluffy and not like concrete like it sometimes is when you put in too much carrageen. People can't believe how little you have to use. Just a very, very little.
Well, it's a delight. I'm converted, and I've loved every bit of it. And actually, I've quite grown to like you.
Wow, you're not bad yourself.
Fish, 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 gotta have some fish, 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 gotta have some fish, 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 gotta have some fish. Fish?
Sadly, I can't do the grilled bass. It was too small, the one I caught, so it's plan B. B for bacon. Get it? Well, that's fine. We've had a terrific morning's fishing, and, you know, the fresh air, the sea, the Irish Sea makes you feel really hungry. So we caught some fish. You actually saw me landing on, I think. And I've been cooking all morning. But not, as you expected, a fish, but a really traditional Irish dish of boiled bacon. Look at that, just boiled in plain water, potatoes, cabbage, got all those in there, Richard, look. And because we only had one stove, I made the parsley sauce earlier and kept it warm like a Boy Scout in the thermos flask. Now, they tell me that this is a classic dish and that people like Liam will eat this with pleasure and joy. I know I certainly will. I'm sorry I'm wobbling all over the place a bit. You know, I'm not actually a film star. I'm just a cookery presenter. We couldn't get Robert Redford on this programme. And if you think I'm wobbling all over the place, I'm not the only one on this boat, you know. All the rest of the people around me are all ill. It's ever so funny, isn't it? Sophisticated television producers, directors and all the rest of it, they're all green. Not only with envy, because they're not going to get any of this, but they're green because they overdid it last night, and the pouring waves have really done them in. There you go, Liam. I reckon we've really earned this. It's a delicious dish, but is it the sort of thing you really do eat regularly, or is this just a, you know, sort of a television stunt?
No, it's not a television stunt. It's a good Irish meal. It's eaten on a regular basis. It's very good for a family concern because you're good value on it.
Yeah. So steak is out, really, too expensive.
Too expensive, yes.
Yeah. It's like Jimmy said, if you see anybody buying steak in Newell, they've got a police escort.
That is true. That is true.
Anyway, let's tuck into our lunch because I've had enough work for this morning, and I really think the fresh air gives you a hell of an appetite. Oh, this is just a job, isn't it?